Is this the one? she's asking.
Yes, this is Tyrion.
Tyrion. Tyrion, I would speak to the two of you in private.
Oh. Well, of course, I give a bow, which is very to Winter's slave bow, sort of similar to a Daratham.
Oh,
Oh,
you
man.
not know how to help yourselves.
I'm going to speak in Vint and be like, all right, well, let's just make our way then, shall we? And I'm
you actually notice that when you speak into Vinter, Dartham doesn't register. He doesn't actually seem to understand it.
Does he? All right, she'll switch to Old to Vinter. Does he respond to that?
He does.
Okay. So she's like, shall we?
I respond in Vintier as a yes.
Wonderful.
Leon's going to look at them with the eyes like, do you need me to come?
She said privately.
Before we go off, I would say... Stormbringer, was it? Yes.
Yes. A time ago, but yes.
Is this meant to be a revelation?
You will need medical assistance for what I am going to help you with. You're going to like it, trust me.
You're gonna like it.
Darren gives him raise eyebrows.
Darren would actually raise his hood. It's to the point where no one else looking at, except maybe like Darren who's nearby or Tyrion can see, but he would raise his hood to the point where you can see his eyes and you can see they are pure red. And he just looks and they slightly narrow.
You will. You'll like it.
It's been a while.
If I may ask, how exactly did you come about knowing of me?
I have a few contacts who knew about you. You're not... There's a few.
I haven't been in the area for very long.
Come along.
I look at Daratham. I think the only answer we're gonna get is if we speak to her privately.
He starts cursing under his breath in Ancient Divine. They are very colorful.
I don't judge, but I know what he's saying.
So is the entire party going to the White Spire, but you're just going to talk to these two privately once they're at the White Spire?
Yeah,
is that what's happening?
Like in a lab, like in a...
That's comforting.
So, okay, but I guess what I'm asking is the party, everyone is going to the White Spire.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, everyone is going to the White Spire together, but then you'll take these two separately. That's fine.
Yeah, like maybe Gwyniel's private lab.
That's fine. Before we get that, I want to go back to Kevin, because we haven't dealt with Kevin for a little bit. So Kevin, meanwhile, while this is happening, it is Bring Your Child to Work Day. And just explain to me like what you are doing with your two daughters right now at the White Spire for Bring Your Child to Work Day.
I think he would have forgotten that it was Bring Your Child to Work Day, so he had like all his like meetings, and he's just gonna spend the rest of his time in his office. But then
I dumped the kids on you.
Yeah, once the kids got dumped on me, I was like, and then I just kind of canceled all the meetings and took them to like training, like the recruit.
Just as an FYI, Hugh is around if you need to have Nanny Hugh take over at some point, because he doesn't say no whenever you ask Hugh to watch the kids. So but right now you are showing them around.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that you're taking them to the training grounds, and Knight Captain Nazim is right now training up the initiates. They're sparring some of the dummies right now, and they're working on their swordsmanship and stuff. And she will bow as soon as she sees you approach, and she will say, Night Vigilant Ashwood, I see that you have your family here.
Yes, it's take your children to work day. He kind of says like, I totally knew it was was that, and I have these things planned.
Arabella is just kind of watching the people fight, and she seems, entertained by this. Maya is watching them fight, and you can see in her eyes that she's just studying them, like studying their form, studying like the way that they hold their weapons, etc., etc.
I was actually wondering, perhaps you could include my oldest here in, some loose training. She actually does like to fight, nothing too strenuous. She is still a child, but yeah, I think it's about that time you learn how to at least defend yourself.
Amaya, for the first time since she arrived, her face lights up a little bit, and she looks towards Nazim and says, "Sir Trevelyan, can I use a spear or a halberd too?" "I don't know. Spears and halberds are very tricky to use." She's looking towards Cedric as if to ask if that's okay or not, if she should or not.
He'll just shrug and say, "Just give her a blunted one for now."
All right, sounds good. And one of the recruits are saying, "Sir Trevelyan, since the Night Vigilant is here, does that mean we have to do our stairs training today?" And Sir Trevelyan says, "No, we are not doing the stairs training today because the Night Vigilant and I do not necessarily see eye to eye with that very archaic form of training," she says.
I don't mean to step on your training methods. You are leading this exercise, so I will, of course, divert to your decision. However, while it may be archaic, he'll kind of like look at the recruits and then look at Nazim, kind of like he's comparing the two, and just be like, "I think the archaic way still produces a lot better results."
I'm gonna say that the trainees are like, "Oh," like they kind of like take that as the, "Oh, was that the Night Vigilant making a joke, or wait, was he being serious, or like is he insulting us? Wait, what?" And I'm gonna say that Sir Trevelyan says, "It's hard for me to respond to that because I might want to try to take that as a compliment." And one of the female recruits says, "Miss Trevelyan, I thought you said that the stair training was cruel and unusual punishment." And Trevelyan like swings over to her, and then she kind of narrows her gaze, and she says, "Sir Harrison, drop and give me 30, please." and then Sir Harrison gets down, and she says, "Worth it." And then she kind of gives a little like fist bump to some of the other trainees. "That was worth it." And she does her 30. I'm gonna say that Arabella says, "Oh, I can do that too." And then she like gets down onto the floor and she tries to do like the push up, but it gets a little bit hard for her. So she does the push ups where she like bends her knees like on the floor and does the easier push up.
I mean, even at 4, she's taking after myself. It's quite remarkable.
Yes, she says, "Who knows? Maybe she might be some sort of arcane warrior mage or something."
Well, that is up for her to decide.
Arabella says, "Nah, I don't want to be a warrior mage. Warrior mages can't wear pretty dresses like Mommy does."
I mean, you could always take the armor off, but I understand your point. But yes, I don't mean to just pawn off one of my children. She has actually been very interested in our ways, but don't try to sway her anymore to signing up just kind of give her like a basic stance and striking.
I think Amaya's gonna like sigh when she hears that, and Sir Trevelyan will say, "Understood," and she says, "Come along, Lady Ashwood. Let's see what you've got." And she'll go ahead.
He'll call out and just say, "I'll be back in an hour to come check up on your progress. I've got to take the little one here to more magically inclined areas."
She will nod, and you will take. So you're taking Arabella to the magical.
Yeah, I would take her into like a because I know she is creation, so I would take her to like a very basic creation kind of class, and just kind of sit in with her and kind of participate with her.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that Arabella is loving it. Like, she's super excited about joining the circle because she's always asking her mom all these questions. She definitely has like embraced her abilities. She's not ashamed of it at all. Somewhat to a fault, because I think the fear is she might be a little bit reckless with her abilities because she doesn't have that taboo mindset about it.
Yeah,
like you would when you was older, and so. And I'm gonna say just at some point, like maybe the instructor will start doing like some like private, like small, like private moment training with Arabella, just like Amaya's getting some private training with Trevelyan, and which is good because you kind of need to get to your office just to take care of a few things, just at least for the next hour, at least. So you're going to go up into your office, and you will be. I don't know if it's a surprise or not, because this might be a common occurrence. You're going to see an old friend looking at the paintings in your office. Hugh will be there. He has his back to you, and Hugh has this really interesting because he's looking slightly older nowadays, and I'm you know how he has these bangs in his head on his face. So I'm gonna say like there's like this line, almost like a line of gray hair, like in front of his bangs, which is kind of distinguished look. And he's gonna turn around as soon as you enter, and he's just gonna smile and say, "Cedric, sorry, my apologies. I was just waiting for you."
Oh no, I should be the one apologizing. I have lost track of the days again. Apparently it was bring your children to work day, and I had to sort that out. So I've got a bit of free time.
Did you forget, Cedric?
Yes, it seems to happen every once in a while.
I see, he says. He turns back over to, there's a family portrait painting of you and Andre and the kids, and I think that Hugh is respectfully like just kind of placing a hand on the frame itself, and he says, "It's a beautiful portrait of your family. I just wish I could have been the one who painted it."
It is quite lovely, but I'm sure if you had painted it, it would have been a masterpiece in and of itself.
He frowns a little bit. That is something that I miss a lot. Painting portraits of people is something that gave me great joy, and it's very hurtful that I can't do them for even my best friend anymore.
It is very unfortunate. If there were any way that I could remedy that situation, I would, but even with the tranquility solution, we could just be repeating the past, and we don't want it to wear off, or someone to fix it. Perhaps there's another way, though. I'm not sure.
It's too much risk.
Hmm.
Even if you were to convince me that there was no way that could happen again, I would be the first to say that there's no way I would.
I understand.
Speaking of which, how is the whole situation with your abolishing of tranquility going? I have noticed a bit of unrest back and forth amongst the circle as well as the chantry.
Of course, there's always pushback to major change, which is why I decided to do it early, to just kind of rip the band-aid off, so to speak. I believe it is still for the better. We are making much headway into integrating it into every circle. There are still some outliers, specifically in Kirkwall. It's quite hard to convince them. But there are other circles, for instance here, and even Ravane, that have fully signed on. But it's a slow process. Bureaucracy is difficult, especially when you're dealing with different cultures. And this is just the first step. I still have so many more plans to make things right.
I know. And I don't envy your position, Cedric. I watch you and I see how tired you get, and I'm sure that something like this has been weighing deeply on your shoulders. If there was any way I could carry the burden for you, I would. But unfortunately, I think that is just something that you as Night Vigilant signed up for. And I'm sorry.
It is. It is something that I signed up for. Just being a Templar is such a daunting task. The men and women in all the circles who dedicate themselves to the betterment of their charges and their brothers and sisters, it goes unappreciated, I feel. Granted, there are always bad seeds, and I'm committed to rooting those bad seeds out. But even so, the stress, delirium, it eats at you. And he'll kind of sigh and look away. I'm worried.
What are you worried about?
The hunger. The endless hunger. It's a pit in my stomach and in my mind that I just can't seem to shake. Every time I look over, and he'll kind of glance over to the lyrium box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time I look over to the box that's supposed to give me my power, it calls to me. I've heard through a lot of my experiences that this tower is a prison, and I fought so hard against it to not make it a prison. And I've always heard the mages complain that it is their prison. But recently, I'm starting to agree. But it's not just their prison. It's ours as well. The Templars, we are just as much prisoners in this circle as they are.
And I think that is one thing that most people don't understand. about our situation.
It's one thing that they can never understand. Weakness among the order cannot happen. We cannot afford the sympathy of the people. My oldest has actually expressed interest in joining the order, and it is something that I do not wish to bring her into it.
That actually is part of the reason why I'm here, Cedric. You and I have had a number of conversations over the years, and we have both been completely 100% open and honest with each other.
Of course.
I just wanted to let you know that as I've been watching over your children, Amaya has been talking to me every once in a while, and I have some concerns that I believe would be better addressed by her own father than an artist uncle, if you were to say.
What are these concerns and talks about?
She's having problems basically trying to determine her identity and who she is. She is not a mage, and therefore she has kind of latched on to you as someone that she looks up to. She has voiced many, many times how much she wants to grow up just like you. But I know and I fully understand the fears that you have of her following in your footsteps. I don't think she fully understands or grasps that, nor do I believe that she has the capability to grasp that anytime soon, not until she's much older. But for the time being, by you denying her from becoming a Templar or training up in your footsteps, she isn't really sure who she's supposed to be, who she's supposed to become.
Parenthood. It's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done.
I know. And again, fortunately, it's something that you signed up for not once, but twice.
I did. I think the issue here is I have very little reference on how to be a good father. Not to say my father was horrible. He was a Templar like myself. But he trained me to be a Templar, and I'm trying to break that mold. I want her to be a child. I want her to experience life outside of this mess. I don't want her to have to worry about the Fade, magic, anything like that. I just want her to be a normal kid. I want her to grow up, marry, have a normal life, free from all of this. I thought that's why I signed up. I signed up so that people could do these things.
Have you told her these things?
I've tried, but it's just hard right now because how she looks up to me, and I can't tell her the negatives. I can't tell her the sacrifices that are on the horizon. We're not just glorified warriors. We're not just guardians of magic users. It's more than that, but again, she's only 11.
She's only 11, but she's clearly proved to be very mature for her age, and she's also very observant.
She's definitely got the maturity of Andrea, and then my perception.
I don't know, but I just feel that perhaps you should take advantage of the fact that today is Bring Your Child to Work Day, and maybe don't show her every dark thing about what you do, but maybe show her some glimpses of the seriousness of the things that you deal with and the weight that you're carrying. And maybe she'll understand, as a 10-year-old could understand, as to why you want her to at least consider other options and let her discover who she is and not necessarily use you as a default option. Cedric, here's the thing. I know you not just as Cedric the Templar. I know you as a great man, period, who probably could have done many things that he wanted to do in his life. So much so that you technically have had 2 lives, to be perfectly honest. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, you are someone that I admire and have valued as a friend, not because you are a Templar, and not because of what your occupation is, but because of your passion and your desire to help people, and your selfless, continuous selfless acts without worrying about your own self and health, he says, looking over at the lyrium box. I think your daughter needs to understand that you are not just my dad the Templar. She can be just like you without necessarily letting her occupation or her training define her. Because at the end of the day, Cedric, you are more than just Night Vigilant Cedric. At least, that's how I have always seen you.
I appreciate that, Hugh. I have always admired your counsel, and I will definitely take heed. Perhaps not now, but soon. It has to happen soon.
I'm glad I can do that for you, Cedric. I may not be able to take on everything that's on your plate, but at minimum, I hope I'm able to help you sort through them.
Thank you. Again, I don't know what I would do without you.
He'll give you a pat on the shoulder. I probably should take my leave now. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
I will. Thank you again, Hugh.
Of course. I'll be at my quarters if you need me. Good day, Night Vigilant. And he will give you a bow.
Good day.
The rest of the PCs and Andrea make their way to the White Spire. It is a beautiful structure to behold. Gwenail is definitely a man of style, and it definitely has quite a bit of his influence in the decor. I'm going to say that as you guys enter in, I'm going to say several of Leon's classmates are probably going to be, like waving at him, like, oh, hey, look who's back. Leon's back, blah, blah, blah. As you're passing on. And to your surprise, maybe to everybody's surprise, Rosie is actually walking down the hallway and kind of runs into you. And she says, oh, Aunt Andrea, fancy meeting you here. I didn't realize you were visiting Orlando. And you're with the rest of the group, she says, looking very surprised.
Empathy check.
You know them.
Yeah, you can.
She's like, you know these folks.
Didn't Rosie already admit to making reports to her dad, or writing to her dad at least?
That's
We
a
don't
20 with
know.
6 stud points. Is Rosie the mole?
You can probably pick up on a suspicion about that, yeah.
Okay.
What was Leon asking? What was Sam asking?
Andrea wants to lie for her and be like, oh, you know these people?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, I gathered that. What was Sam? What was Sam?
Didn't Rosie already admit to writing her dad about our goings on with when we were talking about Balin?
Just about Balin. Like it was more. It wasn't like I'm writing him in general. It was just specifically about
Right.
Balin.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything about her her original reason of following you, which was to
Yes.
report about
Yeah.
the butcher. She didn't say anything
Also-
about that.
I mean, that's a deception check because I got a 20 on mine.
That was also the warm-up question about a character's thoughts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
never
Oh,
actually
man.
said it on
Oh,
paper.
you beat me. All right.
Yeah, so Darethim at least saw through that.
Okay.
And so to respond to her question, and she says, "Oh yeah," she says, "I kind of met this group of people while I was checking out the circus all the way in Antiva. You would have really enjoyed it. The circus was wonderful this year, Aunt Andrea."
Well, the circus is very, very nice to visit. That's fantastic. Well, I have some private business with a couple of them, if you don't mind.
Of course, I was planning on finding Uncle Cedric, actually. So I guess I will see you later. Do you know where he is by any chance? Is he at his office?
I'm not sure. It's take your child to work day, so he might be juggling the kids.
Take your child to work day?
Yep, Gwyniel.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you guys later, she says. And before any of you can say anything to her, she just leaves. Before any of you
She
can
would feel the entire time Darethim's like death stare on her.
Can I just look at Darethim and know that he like knows something?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I would say so.
He looks like not ticked off, but he's definitely just like, you guys are ruining my disguise.
Leon's going to sort of.
With that, I want to follow Rosie.
Yeah, you can do that.
Leon's also going to say, I should also talk to the night vigilant.
Who's Pasha? I guess Pasha's going with that group too.
I was gonna say Pasha's very confused as to what's happening. Andrea apparently knows Darethim, and even though he was a hermit, and Rosie's here, and this is confusing. So she's just gonna find a lobby and wait until Darethim and Tyrion are done. I'm gonna wander around the circle because no one's stopping me.
All right, so you're just gonna hang out. So you're gonna hang out. Darethim's going with Andrea
And Tyrion.
and Tyrion. Leon and Darethim. I'm sorry, Leon and Rousseau are following Rosie
To go to Cedric.
to go to Cedric.
Yep.
Okay, I guess I'm going to say that Nathan will keep Pasha. I'll say that Darren and Nathan will stay with Pasha. Darren and Nathan will stay with her.
Actually, he would just say to Darren, "If you want, you can come along."
Am I allowed to? I thought that Andrea said she only wanted to speak to two of you privately.
It's fine. I think it's to do with what's under my hood. Besides, you've already seen a peek.
She looks towards Andrea's direction. If she's okay with it, I mean, I'm not messing around with the Guardian of Water, so if she's okay with me being there.
With this conversation, or yeah, I'd say, well, it's up to you. I don't know what she wants with us, though. But she does need my medical expertise, it seems. Maybe.
Excuse me, Miss Andrea Penta'Viv Guardian of Water,
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
My apologies, but Darethim had asked if it was all right if I was in the conversation as well, or did you intend for this to be just the three of you?
Can you be discreet?
Oh, I can be very discreet, my dear.
I can agree with that. Very discreet.
Very well.
The three Tevinter slaves all nod in the exact same nod.
All right, because what I'm going to show you is not
Disturbing.
No, not exactly. Come with me.
I'm intrigued.
That just makes me more scared.
I'm going to be like, oh, I love your outfit. I need to find out who enchanted that, so I can have something that billows when I walk.
Do you say that? Oh, do you say that to her?
Yeah, while we're walking.
Oh, She says, "Really? Why, thank you. I actually was about to say, I really like that scent that you have right now. Is that an Orlesian perfume?
Yes, it's figs and brown sugar.
Must go very well with the cheese you were shopping for earlier today."
So does Antibon wine. Come along, I'll pour you a glass. And she'll like loop her arm and Darren.
Nice. Yeah, she and Darren actually start to hit it off pretty quickly, actually.
Tyrion just whispers to Darren, well, those two seem like they're gonna have quite a chat.
Yeah, you guys will follow #Dandria.
Cedric stews in the corner.
Whatever. Cedric has Hugh. We already know that Cedric has Hugh. Let his wife have a little bit of extra play, just like he does. He gets to be with both. Let Andrea have another person too.
Yeah, he has a bromance. I deserve a cismance.
Cismance, yeah, cismance, totally.
I'm going to bring them to like a locked door in the upper levels near Gwyneil's office, and I'm going to pull out a key and unlock it. And within there's like a laboratory, and there's a lot of lyrium in here. There's a lot of enchanted glyphs and protection wards and things like that. And she's going to lead them in.
Dartham is still extremely tense, but he follows without saying anything.
Turns around the room, just like eyeing the place.
A lot of magic, because Gwyneil's really good at protection wards, so this place is warded up. So
okay, I don't know this. I'm getting the feeling this seems sketchy, but that's maybe my sense again.
It's not sketchy, but it is top secret.
Okay.
None of you know me, but you know of me, yeah?
I know you as Lady Stormbringer back into Winter. Fought in the arena.
I've come a ways since then.
10 years. Yeah.
The first spell I learned when I left was a healing spell, and I discovered I had an affinity for it. Yeah, and a love for it, and that's where I found my purpose outside of the arena. So a few months ago, it came into my knowledge that there is a new archdemon. Well,
but like
originally, when we learned of it, we believed it to be a blight. Since then, we've learned that that's not the case.
No, it is not.
No.
However, I began work right away on a cure for the taint with Gwyneil, my friend Tessa, who is an expert in working with lyrium, and my brother Fergus, who is a Grey Warden. The Wardens have been helping.
I've met him.
You've met my brother. All right. Well, this is easier. Normally, the taint affects a Grey Warden to the point where they will eventually fall to the taint. Technically, they have it, and eventually they're going to
die.
Yes.
They die. They go off and they do sort of a last stand mission of sorts until they die.
Become darkspawn. They kill as many as they can before they become one, type of thing. But we've been working on a cure. Now, it's not done yet, but we have been staving off his calling as of now, and it's fantastic. And I've created this, and she pulls out this like, it looks like an amulet, but it's a bottle, and it's like silver, and it's got like this lyrium filigree all through it. And she's going to say, "This is a prototype. We have other like ones as well, but Darathan, you just
I was going to ask why us specifically. Actually, why did you pick us
Because of Darathan.
Pick someone else, Lithia. Anyone. They
I
need it
need-
more than I do.
You have the taint.
So do they.
You are also constantly moving about our world. This isn't a cure. We're not there yet. It's not going to cure you. So just listen. And she'll put it down.
Wait, what do you talk? What does Darathan? I kind of look over at Darathan, just eyes wide right now.
Darathan's all right. But Darathan, you carry the infection, yes. You believe you do? This won't cure anything. I'm not there yet. But what it will do is it will make it so you're not contagious. And I need to study it.
Darren says, she's starting to put two together. So what you're saying is, if Darathan is tainted, he will not be able to taint other people.
Yes.
And Tyrion at this point would probably be able to put the two of Darathan has been extremely avid about Tyrion or anyone else never touching him. He's always never even really laid hands on people. He's always used his staff.
Suddenly kind of everything comes on his mind. Just looks at Darathan, and he gives him like a wide look. There's shock in his eyes.
Darathan doesn't see it though. His eyes are directly onto Andreas, and
I need this to see what the effects are, how effective it is, in order to improve it and possibly make it into an actual cure for people who have been tainted.
Will it even work on me? I'm not exactly a young darkspawn.
I know. But it won't. It's not something that's going to cure anything as of right now. It would just make it so you are not able to spread it. But it's not without its cost. This would be a big ask from me. It would make it so you're not contagious, which is good for you, I believe. But it would make it... It would also come with the risk of working with lyrium. My husband can tell you more about it than I can, but he tries to keep it from me.
Any risk is worth destroying the abomination that is the blight.
You should know what you're getting into, though. It may come with nightmares, headaches, shakes, addiction.
I have nightmares every night. It's nothing new.
It won't be like that. It's something different. Yeah, it's not just nightmares. There's a lot of consequences of being addicted to lyrium. It's a problem. It can cause, if you take too much, it can cause hallucinations. This is an untested formula. It could have serious implications. We've only been handling the lyrium through Tessa herself because she can do it safely, whereas it could affect the rest of us. But essentially what it is it is filled with water, plain water, and the inside is enchanted with the first attempt at a cure. It's not going to fix anything yet, but should someone come into contact with Darkspawn or like the Grey Wardens who have intentionally tainted themselves, we are working toward a possible cure to that eventually. But first, we need to study the effectiveness of this and the side effects and how to fix it. And would you do that? Are you holding your hand out for the bottle? I'm going to put it in his hand. Yeah.
Darathan is quiet, and then she suddenly says, "You're making Darathan seem like some sort of messiah."
I wouldn't go that far, but he's
I'm anything but.
Darathan. Remove your hood, please.
It's all right. You're safe here.
Darren's eyes grow wide. So I think Darren was starting to put two and two together, but actually seeing it is a bit
Yeah,
different.
and Andrea
so she does have a.
And Andrea also probably hasn't seen it herself either, because there's like ghoul corruption, there's darkspawn corruption, and then there's someone who looks like close to the architect corruption. Like the tentacles on the top of his head are actually slightly moving. Again, similar with Darren's cloak or silks. His fangs are sharp. His nails almost look like they're steel, as you can kind of notice that. And his eyes are that pure blood red. And his hands shaking slowly starts to put it over his head.
I'm going to put my hand on Tyrell's shoulder.
Sharon is shaking. He's breathing in and out like crazy. He has not said a word yet. He is just going.
It's all right.
And it lands around his neck. Does anything happen?
So, not yet. But what you do need to do is take the topper, and she's going to show you how to work the bottle. 2 drops daily. That should be
So
it.
it's refillable, so you can just
You
take
can fill it with regular water. Yeah.
Got it. He will then immediately just like she might start to say, here's the side effects. She's at like one word and he already is taking it.
2 drops, not the whole thing.
So you take the 2 drops. So even though you know that it at least got filled with water, it has this viscousy, almost syrupy kind of texture as it goes down your throat, and it goes down warm, almost like, I don't know if you ever had a hot toddy, I think is what it's called. It's like it's basically a warm beverage with like lemon and like there's a liquor, I forgot what liquor it is it goes with.
I definitely haven't had it then.
It's bourbon.
Yeah, basically it's a very comforting mixture of bourbon or whiskey, honey, lemon juice, and cinnamon.
Usually used for colds.
Right, it's usually used for colds, and it immediately starts to warm your chest up a little bit, and it's a pleasant feeling actually, and you can feel this almost like detoxifying, cleansing sensation wash over your body as soon as the drops go down your throat.
And he just clenches his fist so tight that you can actually see a little bit of blood run down his hand, black blood.
How is it? How does it feel?
It's the first time I felt clean in 1,300 years.
You can easily see, Daretham, how this can be very addictive. I'm just going to put that up there.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to, considering all this stuff, I'm going to make a self-discipline check. Yeah, considering this, I'm going to make a self-discipline check.
She says 2 drops a day, but you're like, I wonder if it would hurt if I took 3 drops a day.
Okay, 14 with stunts. It's not even necessarily the physical sensation, just, I think there's this, this feeling, like I said, feeling of being clean that he hasn't felt in over a millennia. And both Darren and Andrea and Tyrion would all be able to clearly hear those words.
And I will also say mechanically that, at least for now, this is not going to affect the potency of your taint magic. For all intents and purposes, at least for right now, all it will do is it would allow you to basically touch people without worrying about tainting them.
And then he kind of looks up at Andrea, then back down his hand.
It should be all right.
5 archdemons.
5 archdemons.
200,000 dead by my hand. Even if I die as this prototype. Well, I already planned to die.
I don't know what you've been through, Iritham, but I know you can help a lot of people if you do this. But like I said, it has risks.
I don't care about them.
Well, I do, because I am the one who's trying to make this so it's not going to give other people side effects.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to ensure this is safe for others, but I stopped caring about myself the day I ripped my sister's throat out.
Tyrion.
Tyrion he's a little bit shy, when he hears the name, he goes, "Oh, yes.
I know this is probably a shock to you. I thought you knew, based on the conversation.
Russo knew.
Russo knew.
Darren and Darren both saw my eyes.
I apologize, Stiriton. I didn't mean to out you.
It was going to happen eventually.
I was going to ask him at some point.
This is what we call an awakened darkspawn.
So there's more of them? Darren asks.
City.
It is a very big secret, which is why I asked for discretion. But yes, there's a peaceful city down in the deep roads.
Peaceful city, you say? Darren says.
Yes, I am friends with their queen, who actually told me of you, Daritham.
They have a queen, Darren says.
Rosagale, the Black Queen.
Yes, she's a dear friend, and that's how I knew you were here. Or at least one of the sources. She's told me about you, and I thought you'd be perfect for this job. But either way, it is a peaceful city that is in the deep roads.
And Andrea, as she's saying that, she would hear Daretham just mutter under his breath,
I don't have to kill them.
No, you do not. But the reason I wanted to bring you in anyway, Tyrion, is because you're a medical professional, yes?
I know it. I'm a trained doctor, yes, ever since I left to Winter.
I need the doctor's notes on the side effects being sent to me, regular reports.
So you want me to keep an eye on him is basically what you're asking for.
Yes. I need to know how addictive it is. I need to know if there are any adverse effects. I need to know how effective it is. And obviously he can't stay here to study, so it would be better to know on the road what's going on.
Tyrion takes a little bit of a couple of seconds where he's silent. He thinks. All right, I will try. I will check up. Can I at least, if this thing does actually work, doesn't mean that my assistants can actually help him out.
Yes.
Hands.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
I'm a doctor. I heal via bandages and all that. It's it's part of my specialty.
Well, there are alchemical things that you can do to help with addiction. I would look into that. I don't know much myself. I'm not an alchemist.
I have to research on Darkstone anatomy then.
I could get you that information through my friend Theoben, actually.
Theoben will send his diagrams.
Yeah. Yep, I could probably get some diagrams sent to you.
Hopefully he doesn't accidentally send the sex ones.
He will. That won't be
that's true. They're like always included in the package.
Yeah. Like a little pamphlet. I'm sure Theoben has a brochure already.
What about if he ever gets injured in combat, shall we say? Can I still tend to his wounds now, since he's...
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. this should just make it honestly safer for you to do that. So that way, if you get his blood on you, you're not going to get tainted, which is good. That's good.
Okay, all right. He's still like revealing from he's a willpower of 0. His will is so low. He's just like, all right, I will try and I'll send the reports when I can. I'll write them down as.
I'm assuming we'll include them when Rosie sends her reports.
What?
I'm assuming we'll include them in Rosie's reports.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He just smiles.
I'm sure.
Darren then pipes up and says, Miss Stormbringer, about this city of awakened Darkspawn, where is this city exactly?
Deep in the deep roads. I can't
Here
tell
was a
anymore.
Oh, I see. All right then. And I'm assuming there was a way for you to know for a fact that these Darkspawn are peaceful?
I've been there. They've got all sorts of treaties. It's just very hush-hush because, believe it or not, common
Well-
folk aren't quite okay with working with Darkspawn yet. But there's a lot of treaties. We've a lot of trade.
What, treaties with other... You mean with other people?
Oh, yes.
Orzammar?
Once again, very hush-hush. We can't talk about that.
King Kine knows about them?
He will never admit to it.
Oh,
No, he
I
simply
see.
had anonymous benefactors.
So his people doesn't know. Ooh, this is some hot gossip.
Let's hope the people of the Anderfels don't know about this one.
The people do not know anything, unfortunately. They're not ready. They're not ready. They'll know
I can imagine
eventually,
why.
but
Have you seen a country where it's been torn by the Darkspawn?
there's a good reason for not knowing, because as they are becoming awakened, there's a good chance at genocide should anyone discover the truth of what is going on down there. So let's just not do that.
Darethim just kind of shifts up. That totally was not one of his plans.
Oh no. Yeah, so that's a good way to start a genocide that I am not willing to put on my conscience. So
I was. So thank you, Andrea.
well, don't. She's like, don't, dear them. But you're welcome. Hopefully this works and we could possibly cure it for all. Do you see why I wanted it to be you? Do you understand?
Still no, but
Well, I asked Rosie and she said that you were trustworthy. So
I should take a breath out. Oh, Lord. It's just
Um,
better and better.
some of the side effects could include things that would make me unstable or dangerous, possibly.
possibly that's a little less likely, but it's more like you're going to have very adverse effects. You might feel very sick. You may have terrible headaches, terrible nightmares. Sometimes Cedric gets fevers and the shakes.
Darethim would kind of, for a second, including Andrea, but look more to Tyrion and Darren, specifically at Darren.
Then one last request. If somehow I grow unstable or feral,
And he looks pretty much straight at Darren.
put me down. Please.
She'll sigh. I understand.
That's very unlikely because we've been working to make it safe, but I guess it's good to have
I will
a plan
check.
B.
I will check in with him and make sure if any of these show, I'll message them forward.
Very well. If he does start to act like he's not fully in control of himself, maybe have him drop the drops for a few days. See if he gets better.
All right.
And the dosage right now, 2 drops is what we're trying. Anything more, I think, might be a little too addictive. But I don't.
At that, his hand is still shaking from it, and he's actually going to grab the thing, take it off.
I kind of show my hand to Derton.
Yeah, yeah, he'll give it to Tyr.
That might be a good idea. So
It's like
Tyrion's gonna check the volume each day. Like, was it 2 drops today or 4?
Maybe Tyrion should be in charge of your dosages.
That's what
I'm gonna kind of put the ball. I'm gonna put it in my medical bag. I'll keep it safe there. Every day I'll give him 2 dosages, 2 drops.
Very good. And Tyrion,
Hmm.
if your work is good, I'll make sure that your name is on the report.
Thank you. Just
you could become certified.
maybe.
It would definitely put your name up as far as medicine is concerned.
Let's hope a particular master back in Devinder doesn't show his face because of that.
Who's your master?
Amron Forfax.
I know you. Okay. All right.
I know Boswick, your master tried to purchase me actually once, 10 years ago. Or more actually.
He tried to get as many people out as he could in his way.
It's not the best. Well, unfortunately, I've got a master with lots of love for me. And I say that I kind of look down and look at there's like bandages over on my arms. You can maybe see a little bit under the torso.
But you haven't, dear. You're not into Winter anymore. If he comes through here, you fucking kill him.
His head kind of like twitches a little bit, and then he kind of says, "We'll see when that happens."
Darren seems to be a little uncomfortable by this topic for some reason. She doesn't say anything.
Weird, huh? It's weird. Why? I wonder why. I say, if you ever see Boswick, just say hi.
He actually passed some time ago. But don't you worry. He was avenged, and he helped a lot of people get out for his sacrifice. However, seriously, if he comes for you here, all bets are off. You're not his anymore. You kill him.
Oh, I know that for sure.
Mm.
I know that for sure. I say, if she wants it, this is actually this is a little bit of a lie because there's Dan literally a couple of feet behind him.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a white lie. So unless I'll make a deception check on that.
Deception on me? Or...
70 with 6 on
Wow.
Wow, okay.
Good lord.
Look at this right here.
You got 1 stump point, Kimberly. You got 1.
Yay!
You win Dragon Age.
Yeah,
go ahead, Taryn.
I guess I just give a bow.
And Darathan will actually say,
Oh, right. Speaking of Devinter, since there's interested parties.
he doesn't look at Darren, but she can probably like tell that he's also meaning her.
I'd recommend looking into the former Archon and his dealings in Navarra. They're a bit disturbing.
Yes.
He's in Navarra? What's he doing in Navarra?
A case of body swapping.
All right. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to go visit a queen. I'm sure my
Actually,
little birds would be interested as well.
He was recently outed by a certain lawbringer, Alren.
Interesting. Well,
And then after that, he glances to Darren to be like, also, you should let Taventure know.
I'm not really picking up the Darren stuff. Like she wouldn't be like at all.
Right. You're not gonna.
Yeah, as a player, probably was a character, and Andrea's like, "What?"
That's interesting. I might have to make a trip.
Hopefully, it's an interesting one.
I'm sure it will be. That is good to know. Okay. Do you have any idea what model he's looking at? Is he looking at staying with a man, woman? What are we thinking?
He was staying with a man at the time.
Are you staying with a man at the time? Okay. All right. A certain queen is going to have a discussion with me. It's going to be fun. Actually.
Out of character. You guys starting this problem. You gotta fucking fix it.
We didn't start any problems. we were given a pile of poo, and we did what we could.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's the problem enough in our lab. So I'm just putting it back on you.
Yeah, a couple months before he hops ship again. Go get him.
I tried to stop that. We all did.
Well, you guys will leave the laboratory, and as you're going to leave the laboratory, I'm going to say that Darren is going to hop back next to Andrea and exchange girly things, like girly stuff. And while she's doing that, I'm going to say that Dartham, you have an inkling feeling that the reason why Darren suddenly latched onto Andrea is because she's starting to avoid you a little bit.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
I look at Dartham. I kind of look straight as walking.
I'm slowly putting the wrappings back on.
Darkspawn, huh? Thought you might have been, I don't know, some failed, I don't know, some master cruelty just burned you up, but didn't expect that.
In some ways, I think that might have been what happened.
I came to the, originally I traveled a lot from the Underfells. People hate Darkspawn, they're like, it's their calling.
Tyrion, in case you didn't hear me, I hate Darkspawn.
I know. You know why I haven't stabbed you or tried to shank you? It's because before that, no, I should. But before that, you didn't seem to be a monster at first. You may have the looks of it, but you got more mystery into you than you might probably think. Doesn't mean though I won't be keeping a watch on you. Well, it kind of have to now, since I have to anyway. I'm your doctor now.
Thank you.
I just nod.
Let's get back to Rousseau and Leon. Rousseau and Leon, you guys are following after Rosie.
Yep, I'm walking with purpose right now.
Right. So it'll be very obvious that you're following Rosie. And Rosie is going to notice pretty quickly, and she'll say, "Oh, you guys just happen to be walking in the same direction that I'm walking in. Okay." And then she'll turn into a corner. Do you guys follow her?
Yeah.
Rosie.
Oh, speak of the devil, you're still walking in the same direction as me. Ha! Yes, Mr. Alren.
We have a few questions.
Oh, do you now? Well, we are in the circle, and the circle is a place of knowledge, so I'm sure your questions can be answered by the nearest professor, teacher, or enchanter then, as she starts walking some more.
Would I be able to basically move in front of the alleyway so she can't turn around?
Yeah, you can. Mr. Alren, fancy you standing right there in front of me.
I don't appreciate being walked away on, Rosie.
I didn't realize I was having a conversation with you.
We are now.
Oh, right. Okay. She's eyeing the big giant hammer on your back right now. What do you want to talk about? The weather looks great, by the way.
What have you told them?
I beg your pardon?
What have you told the Guardians?
Okay. So, first off, I will say I told them nothing about what you specifically told me not to tell them.
Good, because there would have been some problems.
I know, which is why I know that they know nothing about that topic that we never had a conversation about.
I'm gonna guess, based off how Dartham looked at you, that you know, that I know, that you know what he really is.
I know that you know what he... I don't think I ever knew what you knew.
You knew what he was, though.
I know several things about him, yes. And it's sounding like you know several things about him as well, and those several things might line up with the several things that I know.
Several things that he's a sentient spawn.
Okay, then I think yes, that is true. Then yes, you just verified it. Yes.
Wait, sentient spawn? I mean,
well, cat's out of the bag. Yes. Poor Tyrion's probably being exposed to it by Andrea as we speak.
Fascinating.
Oh.
I knew he didn't like being touched, but he starts writing some stuff in the notebook.
Yeah, we kind of are trying to keep that as a hush-hush, because if anyone here hears about it, it would be a bit of a problem.
Yes, I could, yeah. So you were originally watching Dartham.
All right, she says. Yes, the main reason why I started tagging along is because I was supposed to keep an eye on Dartham and make sure that hasn't been able to get himself into trouble, which he hasn't. He's been very well behaved, I should say. Actually, more than well behaved, for that matter.
Yes, but he seems to be a little depressed about his situation.
Yes, and I've been trying to cheer him up a few times here and there, but I don't quite know what the conversation that him and Andrea are having right now, but I have a feeling she legitimately is trying to help him.
On the flip side, I think that we are straying a little from topic from Revelations, but you are lovely, and it's been nice having you in the party, and you've been a real help, but likewise, we can't... It feels a little awful to have our every move watched, if you know what I mean.
Are you breaking up with me, Leon?
When did this happen, Leon?
It flusters him a little bit. We were, anyway, you're lovely, and we still want to have you in the party and everything, but
Oh, good. I thought you were kicking me out. Because I thought I said I promise I'll be useful.
We don't doubt that. It's just, as a party, we need to trust each other a little more, and so it'd be nice if you didn't report our every move.
Well, okay, fine. Why don't we talk about it when we get to Cedric, Uncle Cedric, then? And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page then, and if you don't want me reporting everything about what we're doing, I kind of want to talk with him as well about it.
We could draft letters together.
She says, "You mean you and me?" Rosie says as she starts to light up when he
five of us need to review what you're sending.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that if I were to hang out more with Leon to draft up an initial draft, and then we can present it to the other four, that would be great, she says, as she's starting to smile a little bit more. Giggling a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. So, beyond Dartham and you saying that you haven't told them about the other thing that shall not be discussed right now,
No, shall not be discussed at all.
what else do they know? Or is that the full reach?
I started telling them about the fact that you guys are dragon avatar things, hunter things, and how the circus was attacked by the dragons, and basically all the stuff that was going on at the trial in Novara.
Oh dear. So, the Night Vigilant won't let me off the hook. He'll probably have to send a Templar after. Oh boy. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
How do you feel about leaving some things behind, Leon?
Yeah. I left my luggage back at the caravan previously. Yes.
Well, if it gets too dicey, we could always play dumb, at least for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's happened. We have just fought dragons and we've come back to report. Yes.
I think his office door is right there, she says. Do you want me to introduce you guys?
I suppose, and then I'll just kind of straighten my tie a little bit.
Be nice to have a friendly face.
Okay. She's gonna go ahead and knock on the door. Now, I'm going to say, for both Andrea and Cedric, FYI, something that's been you started noticing for a while, but I didn't really bring it up because I didn't think that it's only now really becoming noticeable. But each of your marks, each of your star marks have started to tingle a little bit today, more than normal. And
All right.
by this moment, your marks are actually starting to burn a little, I would say, which is a sensation that you normally don't feel because each of you have your own unique, like for Andrea, it's got like a cooling effect when you feel it tingle, and for Cedric, it's more like of a static, shocky, tingling feeling. So this is the first time it actually burns like fire. And you're only now noticing it really by the moment that Rosie starts knocking on your door, Cedric.
Okay, so you would hear a lot of like things being thrown and swearing in Orlesian, and then like papers getting kind of like rustled, and there's no response. You just kind of hear, commotion going on.
I think that there'll be a pause, and then Rosie will knock the door a little bit louder. Uncle Cedric, it's Rosie, come to visit you. Are you there?
Yes, Rosie, come in.
She opens the door. And does she see the office like completely?
Yeah, it's wrecked.
Oh my gosh, Uncle Cedric, what happened to your office? I've never seen it this disorganized before.
For those people who are of the more perceptive nature, they will see papers all over the floor that look recently flung and a map laid out on the desk now.
Okay.
And he's kind of like, he doesn't even really acknowledge, he just thinks it's Rosie there.
Sure.
So he's just kind of like focused in on the map.
I'm just gonna lean into Leon. Do you think he's normally like this, or is this just new?
This seems pretty new. He just flung the papers, so maybe something's up?
Right, well, I'm the newest one here, so you go first.
Right into the tiger's den. Okay.
Uncle Cedric, you don't seem like yourself. Are you feeling okay? You seem to be a little stressed out.
Stressed out? Oh, yes, stressed out. That is an understatement, but What else is new? Oh, what else is new? Yes, that reminds me. And he keeps looking at the map. He still hasn't looked up.
What's with the map, Uncle Cedric?
The mark is acting up. That means it's close. He's close.
He's close?
Yes.
Oh. Oh. Fancy that. Oh. And I think Rosie's starting to get a little bit of a shifty eye at that
Who
point.
are you talking about, Knight Vigilant?